Hi guys, Samantha from GSMO Tutorials here, and welcome back to another How to Fix That episode. So this is the pendant that I'm going to be fixing up today. This I made probably about 8 years back, if not more, and you can just see I kind of like the idea behind it, but it just was not executed to my liking. So this is going to be the inspiration for today's video, but I'm going to be taking that and making something better with it. So what you're going to want is a sheet of black polymer clay, and this is Prima Black, and then I'm going to be using 3 different colours of foil. I'm going to be using copper, silver and gold, and you can use any colours that you want, however many colours you want, completely up to you, but those are the colours I'm going to be using. Okay, so I just trimmed away the excess and cut it into 4 pieces. I'm going to put this to the side, and these ones we are going to each give a coat of foil. So just pick that up so that they're separate. And let's start with the gold. This project's quite good for if you're going to be using scrap sheets. I'm going to be using a whole sheet of gold here because I don't have any scrappy pieces, but if you have scrappy pieces of metal leaf, by all means use that today because you don't need a perfect covering. Okay, here we go. Just going to lay that down. Make sure to press out all the air bubbles so that it's stuck down onto that clay well. Then I'm going to just use my blade to separate the rest of that leaf, and these are the scraps that I'm talking about that you could then use in this project. So if you have any of those, bring them over and use them. Okay, then I'm going to repeat the same action with the other 2, with one being silver, the other being copper. Okay, and there we go. Then I'll just lift them up, and your leaf is most likely going to lift up like so, don't worry about that. So just lift them all up, and then we are going to give them a quick roll out with our acrylic roller. You can also use a pasta machine, but an acrylic roller works just fine. I'm just popping them onto a piece of paper because it will make it easier to do that. And just roll them out, like so. Oh, that was a mistake, oopsie daisy. It's very cold over here, so the clay is a little, it's not very soft at the moment. Just lift that up off the paper. There we go. I'm just going to give it a gentle pull, careful of that area where it's split. And I'm just going to continue doing that until I'm happy with how the cracks look. Okay, and there we go. So you can see there how the cracks look. Okay, I'm going to put these to the side because we are going to be turning them into a mosaic. And all we're going to do there is we're just going to pop one down, and I just want you to cut them into random pieces like so, and you can move this out the way if you need to so that you don't end up accidentally cutting your sheet, and just place them off to the side. Generally I put them onto a piece of paper, that way they don't stick, and I will repeat this with all 3 of these sheets, just cutting out these nice sharp angular pieces. Okay, so I've got them off to the side here, just all kind of chopped up, ready to go. So put those back there, bring over another piece of paper, and just take them at random and slot them together. If you need to chop off awkward points, by all means do that. And just fit them together, and you're going to want to chop them to make them fit together, but by having them pre-chopped, it's just going to make the process quicker and easier than if you hadn't done that already. But yeah, just take them, slot them together in a way that you think looks nice, and just continue doing that until you have a completed veneer. And all of these little off bits that I am chopping off, be sure to keep those because we're going to use those for our backing. Okay, and there we go. That should be enough for my earrings. So I'm just going to take a piece of paper, and this is just left over from the metal leaf, and I'm just going to very gently burnish it. I don't want to get rid of all the cracks completely, I just want to stick all the pieces together. And so while I'm doing that, I'm just going to quickly mention that in the next round of videos that are going to be coming up, at least in this series, the Fix It Up series, I'm interested in knowing whether you would like to send in photos of your projects so that I can fix them up in the video. If you are interested in that and having your projects featured in a Fix It Up episode, please do send me the photos to the email in the description below this video. I might not necessarily get to all of them, but there definitely is a chance that yours will get featured. So if you're interested, please send it to the email. And yeah, maybe you'll see it on a episode on YouTube. So there we go, that will have flattened everything out, and now we've got our nice mosaic. So I'm just going to lift that up off the paper, and you can see there that it's not completely burnished together, but it's enough that it will stick together enough for us to handle it. So I'm going to put that to the side and we'll work with that a little bit later on. And I'm just going to bring over another sheet of black. Now we don't need all of that, so let me remove some of it. And then I'm going to bring over a texture roller of choice. Any will work. I'd recommend a pebble one, just because that's what I'm going with. I'm going to take that and I'm going to start on one end and I'm going to roll across the surface like so. There we go. Okay, and then I don't want it to be a perfect texture, so I'm going to roll back over a few times and just shift it around, and there, that way we'll get a more complicated texture, because we're going to only be using a small amount of this, so that's why I recommended a pebble texture. That way you end up with something that's nice and organic looking, like so. Okay. Then I'm going to bring over some gold mica powder, and now I would recommend the colour powder that is going to be the same colour as your metal findings later on. So I'm going to be using gold earring wires and things like that, so that's why I'm choosing gold. If you were going to go copper with copper earring wires or silver with silver earring wires, choose the corresponding powder and just brush that over the surface. Or if you want to, you could even use copper, silver and gold, but I've decided against doing that. And just brush that over the surface to highlight your texture. Okay, and there we go. So I'm just going to pop that to the side, and we will use that a little bit later on. But for now, I'm going to bring over our leftovers, because we want to make our backing as well. You want all three things ready to go before you start cutting out your pieces. So I've just got a jumble of leftovers here, and I also have these pieces that I didn't end up using in my mosaic, which I'll also tip in here. You can of course use those to make more earrings, but I'm only going to be making the one pair, so I'll be using that to create our backing. Just chop that up a bit. Okay. Mix it all up. Press it together to a ball. Just get it all to stick together, and then use your roller to roll that out like so. Okay, and then once it's rolled out a fair bit, pop that through your pasta machine on the same setting that all of your other sheets were, so there's the same thickness. There we go. Okay, pop that to the side. We will work with that a little bit later on. And then we're going to bring over this piece. So what you want to do now is grab your cutters of choice. I'm using my medium dragon scale cutters. Any cutter will work though. And I'm just going to find a position that I like. There we go. And then just cut out your piece like so. Make sure that you get a nice clean cut, and they'll most likely stick in your cutter because we did do that on a piece of paper. It's perfectly fine. Just flip this over. You should be able to pop them out pretty easily. Go. Okay. Then just to make it easier, I'm just going to burnish them down a little bit on the cutter, on the paper, excuse me, just so they're stuck down a little bit. Okay. Okay. So I've just removed the other one and popped it to the side for us to do this. And I'm just going to place this down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut from one corner to the other corner. There we go. Cut that off. Put that to the side. I'm going to bring over our texture piece. Place that on the surface. Stick it right up against your piece like so. Bring over your cutter before and just make sure to position that like so. Press down, remove your excess. There we go, that's one side done. Then make sure to straighten that out again. Put it to the side. We're going to go over to the other corner. And I'm going to cut from one end to the other, like so. Put that to the side. Repeat the motion of putting this up against it, making sure to press. Cut it out again, like so. Then cut from this corner to this corner again. And place this back over, squish into place, and then once again cut out your shape. Here we go, and there's our two pieces. Then just take those, lift them up and pop them to the side, rotate that, bring over this piece, make sure to give that a good burnish. Bring over your earring pieces again, place them down, give a good tap so that they stick to the surface. Repeat this one, give it a good stick down. Okay, bring over the same cutter as before. That over your piece and cut. Just make sure you get a good firm cut there. Lift that up and it's most likely going to stick in the surface, that's fine. Gently pop that out and be careful at the end. There we go. Then just brush your fingers over the surface just to get rid of any little fuzzy bits. And then that's just about ready to bake. Repeat with the other one. Okay, I'm going to pop these into the oven for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature. And then when they're done, we're going to seal them because we've got mica powder and metal leaf on the surface. And yeah, then we can assemble them. Okay, and when they are out of the oven and completely cooled down, I'm going to bring over a eye pin, and I'm going to be using a gold one. I'm just going to pop that down into the middle of our piece, and then I'm going to twist that in. Like so. There we go. And that's what we're going to use to string them with our earring pieces. It's also how we are going to varnish them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a piece of wire off to the side. You also want something that you can hang them from. We're going to string them onto the wire, and we're going to hang them over something to dry. I have a basket off to the side, which is what I'm going to be using. But basically you're going to hold them by the eye pin like so, and we're going to brush all sides and back with some varathane. So let me just put that to the side. Gonna grab this piece, and I've got some varathane all to the side. I'm just going to take that and just brush that over the surface. You can of course give this a coat of resin if you want, but the reason I'm not going with resin is mainly because I don't want to cover up that texture. I want it to still be very visible. And you would still need to varnish the back because there is metal leaf on the back. But yeah, you'll just dab it on like so, so you get a nice consistent coat. Make sure you brush the sides as well, and make sure you brush the back. Then pop that onto the wire and let it dry until the varathane is completely clear. Okay, and here they are once they're finished drying. And so that will have sealed everything in. It will also give it a nice shine, while also maintaining the textured look. You'll even be able to feel the mosaic still, which is something that I want. If that's something you don't want, you can give them a coat of UV resin. Right, so now we're going to just bring over 2 jump rings and 2 ear wires to finish these pieces off. Now while I'm doing that, just want to remind you again, if you'd like to send in your projects to get featured on a Fix It Up episode, please send it to the email in the description below the video, and you might get a chance to get featured. So yeah, just remember to do that if you are interested. And yeah, other than that, this project is just about finished. I'm quite happy with how it turned out. It definitely looks better than the previous one. Let me know in the comments below what you think, and I'll bring over the other one in just a moment so we can see the difference between the two. So let me just pop those over here. And yes, I'm wearing multiple layers. It is freezing over here at the moment. There we go. So you can see there the difference between the two. I definitely like this one more. Another thing that I've done with this one that is very different from this one is I used silver, copper and gold, but the brand of leaf that I used tends to tarnish quite a bit, whereas this one, the leaves that I used for the metal leaf crackle, they don't tarnish, which is a big difference between the two, because this one is, I'd probably say about 8 years old, and you can see that it has tarnished a little bit. But yeah, other than that, I just like the design better. It's obviously finished off better, and just in general, an improvement. So, if you enjoyed the tutorial, please do let me know in the comments below. If you would like to see more Fix It Up episodes, also let me know in the comments, and there should be more coming out soon. If you would like to support the channel so that I can continue posting videos just like this one, please do consider becoming a member. There is a join button below the video, and also there is a link to Patreon below as well. That is also super helpful. And as always, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.